This is the SecretLab magnetic Ethernet cable extender. Installation guide and user manual. It's just one piece. Magnetic strips down this side. This area accommodates the power, the kettle cord. This is the bit at the bottom, and this just extends freely in a very smooth, fluid way. And this actually has a spring that wants to automatically make it come back that way a little bit. This one does not have that. Top Ethernet insertion point. Magnets at the base. This is my current SecretLab Magnus Pro Desk, and now I'm going to go behind the computer over here and attach this Ethernet extension. Let's have a look here. So the magnetic metal guide that comes with the accessories pack helps me put down my extended USB and HDMI cables. Power cable comes down through here. Now apparently this part slides over the base of it's magnetic, and I'll slide that over the top, and it just magnets into place immediately. So I'm going to run an Ethernet cable from the back of my PC into here, and then I'm going to run this cable, it's going to be Ethernet, along with all these other cables through into my modem, which is plugged into the landline socket here. This is where my PC used to live, but now it's hanging up here on the PC mount. Okay, so I have now put the Ethernet extender here on the side of the desk, and now I need to get an Ethernet cable into the base. I have this TP-Link AC1200 E4, which is part of a mesh system that connects all the way downstairs from this window. But just to be neat about all of this, I feel like I could run the Ethernet cable that's running all the way back to the modem in the other room into the back here, into here, and then put this on that desk. I'm not sure what that's going to be like with beaming this Wi-Fi down to the next mesh device downstairs, but it's worth a shot. It'll be much neater, and I won't have these two wires coming up the wall. In terms of the Alexa Echo, I moved it over here next to the puppets. Okay, so I've cleared the windowsill, and I've plugged in the TP-Link mesh just to these two cables and to power. So now I just need to plug one of the Ethernet ports into here. This will move up and down with the desk, so this one, I'll choose the more rigid one, and I'll choose the more flexible one to bend around the corners to go into the back of the PC. Okay, so now I've plugged in the Ethernet port, the port to go to here. I'm not sure what color this is supposed to be if it's connected. And then another one coming out of the back of this into the PC. I'll just check that I've got internet over here. Okay, so I've clicked on here. It looks like I am connected to the Ethernet. It says here. But the logo here that it selects in Windows shows that it's also using Wi-Fi. If I turn off Wi-Fi here, I'm still connected to this, right? But if I want to distribute, see, you can see the logo's changed down the bottom here. But if I want to connect to other devices and things, you've got to be on the same network. So I would just keep that connected as well. And this logo might change now. Yep, because it says no internet access though. I don't know why it says that. Try again. Okay, it does work. I don't know why the network says no internet access. I guess the internet access is coming from the Ethernet, and so that's what it means. It's not the Wi-Fi is not providing internet access to this PC. Okay, so if I click go here on the speed test, we'll see I've got the fastest apartment speeds you can get in Australia, up to 100 megabits per second down and 20 megabits per second up. So now I'm going to disconnect the Ethernet cable from the back of my PC. So I just disconnected the Ethernet port from the back of my PC, and now it's just Wi-Fi. There's no Ethernet connection. Okay, so I'm going to try the speed test again with just Wi-Fi. Still very good, it's the same. The interesting thing is though, I do have some lag and dropout problems without the LAN cable occasionally for certain things. I can't remember what they are exactly, but at the moment it looks like Wi-Fi is just as fast as local area network. So the speed does not change for me, because for me Wi-Fi is strong. I'm using 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi and it's not far away from this computer, so I'll go ahead and plug it back in, and then we'll run some table raise and lower tests. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and plug this back in so I have Ethernet access again. The trusty Zen Airlink transmitter on 24 hours a day, ready to beam latency free or very low latency audio transmission for when I do my video editing, which I'll be doing for this video very shortly. As we saw, the Ethernet and Wi-Fi speeds for me are identical. If I just check here, I'm not sure what color that's supposed to be anyway. That's a TP-Link AC1200. It's a mesh system. It transmits out the window down to the carport, and so I can get internet down in the garage. So what do we need to do now? We need to raise and lower this table and test out how this fares. Doesn't make any noise. This thing is so smooth, the extension. It's just so smooth. It's not a problem. I think there's a coiled up Ethernet Cat 6 maybe Cat 7 internally. So we're connecting from there down to there, and then to the modem is not going to be any problem. I'm not sure how to make this a little bit neater. I guess I could run that down the leg a little bit. It would have been nice if this had multiple ports for HDMI and all these other things, and USB, high, fast pace. If they could put fiber optics in there, that'd be good. That would mean that I wouldn't have to have these extra 2 cables dangling out if this was multi-port. But it's just Ethernet, so the other cables have to run down, which makes you think, why do you even need this thing if you're going to run extra cables on the exterior like this? You don't. You don't need this if you're going to run other cables to keep things neat, because you're going to have these cables running down through this magnetic conduit anyway. What's one more? The Ethernet cable ends up being visible at the base anyway. It's beautiful, and I wish they were all going out something like that. But unfortunately, they can't, and they need slack when you raise to standing height. Just watching it go back down. Is there any chance it could pinch any of my other cables? No, it's okay. I just wish there was a neater solution for the other essential cables that you need to run throughout the house. USB and HDMI and DisplayPort and stuff like that. And then it runs through, you know, distributor sockets throughout your home to give you, you know, a visual and audio feed, and allow you to extend things out to Bluetooth transmitters and keyboard receivers, etc. But it is a nice addition having this. It's neat, it looks good, and it works.